You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chilson, and this is my review for Pixar's Elemental. Now, before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. Elemental is a 2023 animated comedy that takes us to a land where water, fire, land, and air residents live together. Where Ember, a fiery young woman, and Wade, a go with the flow water type of guy, discover something elemental. How much they can actually have in common. The film is directed by Peter San and stars the vocal talents of Leah Lewis and Mamadou Ati as Amber and Wade. Now, Pixar's recent track record has been hit or miss, not just for me, but it seems for everyone at large. And it seems they've also lost confidence within Disney Studios because Pixar has kind of been relegated to the back burner. The studio has basically become the direct to Disney Plus animated studio over at Disney. So when it was announced that Elemental, a non-franchise new film from Disney Pixar, was being released into theaters, yeah, I was excited because this is our first original film from Pixar to get a theatrical release since COVID hit. Our last one was Onward. And let's just face it, no matter what their recent track record is, no matter what I have or haven't liked in the recent past, I am always really excited for a new Pixar film. And I thought Elemental looked charming. The animation style looked amazing. Those trailers were able to conjure up some magic. So while it seemed to the rest of the internet, was kind of down on Elemental heading up to release, I was really excited to check this film out. And that's why it really pains me to say I was quite disappointed with Elemental. Yeah, I guess I should have taken the clues. When people said this is Pixar's first rom-com, I should have adjusted expectations accordingly. But let's go ahead and kick things off with the positives first. Well, it should come as no surprise. The absolute biggest positive of Elemental is the animation, which is stunning. I really enjoyed this blend of animation styles on characters such as Ember and all of these different types of people having their own distinct different types of animated stylings. The animation was fluid and vibrant, beautiful work here from top to bottom. I enjoyed the character designs, the world building was amazing. The entire concept of this elemental city was so cool and beautifully brought to life from the animation department. As always, Pixar is here to deliver when it comes to those animated goods. And honestly, they pick up the slack when maybe the writing can't deliver the magic you're hoping for. The stunning animation is there to give you some sense of wonderment. And that is certainly the case here with Elemental. I also think some of the themes work nicely, particularly the themes around immigration. Once again, we're kind of left with a somewhat generational trauma film. There's no villain once more, and that trauma is kind of the villain here. But it's told through the lens of immigrant families. And I really loved the way that they showcased how not only people can reject immigrants and certain folks, but cities are just not designed to welcome outsiders. Your physical landscape can be an exclusion. And they handled that very, very well in this. And it actually brought up some very interesting and valid points. I did also, of course, like how that generational trauma and personal experience passes down to create divides amongst people. And Everything to do with coming together as one race was really nice. And while this is certainly a romance, and I think the romance is fine, it's also a coming of age story for Ember specifically. And and I think it works well in that regard. The music was beautiful. I particularly loved this new Lauv original song. I thought it was quite the bop. But with all that said, that's kind of where my positives end. And we get into the reasons I left feeling disappointed with Elemental. Well, a big issue is actually the themes. We go for some pretty big themes in this film, and there's a lot of them. So while I enjoyed the immigrant experience portion of the themes and messages, it's another Pixar film where we're really trying to talk about things like diversity and hatred and bigotry in a metaphor that can never fully make sense. Here, it's xenophobia by and large, and racism, prejudice. The problem is, it's hard to convey those messages accurately when you are dealing with literal problems, like physical, actual, real world problems within the film. These elements can actually kill each other just by interacting. They are quite literally dangerous to one another. So applying that type of logic over constructs such as racism and xenophobia, they don't match up. It doesn't actually make sense as an allegory. So it really makes a lot of that allegory kind of fall flat. And the same thing with the romance. Instead of being some Romeo and Juliet class divide story, which the film does try to do, actually, including the class divide, they actually have to like make up some mumbo jumbo. Because once again, there are two elements that physically actually cannot mix. So it's really sloppy. The logic just doesn't translate well to this magical world, unfortunately, because they apply real world physics onto fantasy land metaphors. Also, I hate to say this, but I didn't like Wade. I really found him to be pretty annoying. And he's our lead male character, but oh my gosh, I just thought his character was so annoying. Everything he did, I was like, okay, Wade, well, go away. Right from the get go, I was annoyed with Wade. And it only let up every now and again because I didn't click with his character really at all. And I didn't love Ember's character quite enough to make up for that. The comedy is pretty hit or miss. I chuckled a couple of times, but never really found myself laughing at most of the jokes. And I didn't feel that spark. Honestly, there's this one extremely magical scene in the film having to do with a flower and this beautiful tree, this wonderful set piece. But outside of that, it just lacked that Pixar magic for me. It lacked a good romance magic for me. I wasn't falling in love like the film was telling me I should be falling in love. And yeah, this old cynic heart just could not get on board with the romantic fallacies at play here. It just all seemed rather ridiculous to me, if I'm being quite honest. So overall, Elemental is okay. Unfortunately, I think it ranks in the bottom tier of my personal Pixar ranking because I just didn't connect with the story that they were telling. It's very run of the mill rom com type of storytelling with some sloppy, illogical metaphors without any characters that really drew me in to fall in love. It's not a bad film, it's just a very bland film, which is so disappointing when we have this wonderful idea and concept and this beautifully animated world. Some really stunning window dressing without the proper foundation to hold it up. So, if you're looking forward to Elemental, or if you just really like romances, I actually think you're going to really enjoy Elemental. It's play by the book romance. It's going to give you the things you want, the dates you want, the cutesy, cheesy lines. It's all there. Otherwise, if romances aren't really your thing, I honestly struggle to think that you're going to like this one all that much. But if you're a fan of animation, it's certainly worth at least giving a try. for the stunning work put on the screen, just go for that matinee ticket price. I'm honestly not sure you're going to want to spend a full ticket price. So that was my review for Elemental. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Elemental? Let me know all of your thoughts, either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.